So immediately when I recrew my mortar, I move it, because I don't want to get mortared immediately by him. So I move it so that he's going to have to find my mortar again when I start firing. He's still firing though, he doesn't know he's got me. And I hit R right there. R is the reface button, and that's a very useful button. You just hit R and click where you want people to turn, and they'll turn. Okay, so now I'm mortaring his mortar. Mortar, mortar, mortar. Mortar, combat! That's what the Warcraft 3 Dwarven mortar teams say. I used to think they said, mortar, come back! Like it was a joke, like they had launched the mortar, and they wanted it back. So he got lucky, or he got skilled. No, he got lucky, I got unlucky, whatever. It just happened that his mortar landed directly on mine. For the second time, my mortar was knocked out. And I'm not having a happy time. He's outplaying me, really. He's got a hold on the middle, which I did not get, and he, much more importantly than getting a hold on the middle, he has exploited his hold on the middle. He stuck a bunch of machine gunners in there. He kept me out of there. He got Panzerfaust and elite infantry knocking out my tanks. Every time I attack him, his machine guns knock me out. And I'm looking at all my allies' SMG infantry lined up for that tank to mow them down, and now I give up because I can't do anything. But yeah, and most importantly, when something like my mortar shows up, he adapts. He does not just like go, oh crap, I'm screwed, but he buys his own mortar. And so of course my response to him buying a mortar is to buy a car, and I'm going to drive the car in and kill the mortar. Car actually turns out to be a pretty good idea because this guy never even imagined someone could come from the left. I had to flank to come from the left, but that turned out to be a fantastic idea. I took out, I'd say 60% of his defenses right there. I got the mortar, but even more importantly, I think, than the mortar, or maybe about as importantly, I nailed a lot of infantry just driving in. I exploited a hole in his defense. So for all his skill, this guy committed the very rookie mistake of leaving his flanks open, flanking one of the best options in war. Did I throw a grenade? I'm trying to tell if I threw a grenade. I killed some people. So always be careful about your flanks. If you're playing against Russian people, like legitimately Russian people, not people playing as the Russians, but like people who live in Russia and speak Russian and worship Putin, they'll flank you a lot. Russians are just good at this game. It's a Russian game. A lot of the most detailed real-time strategy games tend to be Russian or Eastern European or something. A lot of the most detailed games, it's Eastern Europeans are just pretty hardcore apparently. But yeah, I knocked some guy out with a grenade, and he was on the ground, so I decided to rush my rifleman in to shoot him, but he got shot. Okay, so maybe you saw right there, that was a squad's worth of probably some machine gunner infantry or something running into the middle, so that's how you tell that this guy is serious. I knocked out a ton of people with my armored car when I drove in and killed everyone, but this guy does not even bat an eye. He immediately reinforces in the middle, and that is some very good stuff. So I'm praised. Oh, they're assault infantry. They're stormtroopers. So that's for. I do have to criticize him though for all the fantastic job he's done holding the middle against me. And okay, let's face it, holding a castle against your opponent is not the best possible. I mean, like anyone. Okay, now that I think about it, anyone can hold a frickin' castle. There's against my car. I should not have driven in. I'd never drive in the front. That's not a good idea. But yeah, okay, holding a castle is probably not the best. Does not demonstrate you're a master tactician. Pretty much you could be asleep and hold a castle against an invader. Really, that's what they're designed for. Okay, so maybe this guy's not fantastic. And really, the reason I was going to start criticizing him is because he hasn't once tried to take the leftmost point. I mean, like, I have riflemen chilling there. But he could obviously. There's 3 riflemen. Nothing's gonna happen. And I think I have a bazooka man. Yeah, I have 3 riflemen and a bazooka on the left. And he hasn't even probed that once. He spent all his attention in the middle. I can almost guarantee he hasn't helped his ally on the right. He spent all his attention in the middle. And as good of a job as he's done holding the impenetrable castle, I would like to point out this is totally not my fault. I can't take the castle. It's a castle. Yes. As good of a job as he's done sitting there and watching me die, he really hasn't fought at all on the left. So I have to commend him for fighting in the middle, which typically people ignore because they're like, oh, let my ally do it, and that's obviously not going to happen because your ally is thinking the same thing because everyone who plays this is stupid. But yeah, it's good for him attacking the middle, bad for him not attacking the left. So you saw my submachine gun infantry on the left. Oh, now they're getting shredded. See, right as I say this, he attacks the left. That's much better. So, you saw my submachine gun and the infantry on the left. They ran in, shot some people, got shot, and walked out. So, I can tell that he hasn't totally closed the gap on the left. My submachine gun infantry did not get immediately shredded. I made a simultaneous attack with the tankette, the T-26 tankette on the front, and the submachine gun on the left. And I did not get instantly brutally slaughtered the way I have often been instantly brutally slaughtered. There's a Hetzer tank, you might have noticed. Oh, there's the Hetzer again. I'll let my ally deal with the Hetzer, because that's my ally. It's over on the right, not my deal. But my ally's buying way too many tanks. I mean, maybe he's not buying too many tanks, that's not fair. Just because I don't like tanks doesn't mean no one can like tanks, but he's just losing too many tanks. Meanwhile, I'm losing too many mortars. Mortar just got owned. That's not good. So, you saw the enemy sent some people to the left. My submachine gun infantry were duking it out with infantry on the left, but then he really didn't capitalize on it. He hasn't probed further and tried to take out my lines. I am, however, ready for him probing further. I positioned my T-26 tankette on the left, and that, I figure, is going to be able to stop any sort of offensive. And then I realized I have this AT gun over here. How about I reface it and use it to take out this Panzer III? Well, that's a pretty good idea, isn't it? But I aim, and it turns out the Panzer III is too far away. No, it isn't. I fire. Huh. My mind is going. This is a while ago. I recorded this game a while ago. Yeah, well, he's going to shoot at that for a while. Good luck. So, oh, is he? Am I going to tell him to... This is hard, recreating what I did. I'm just interested in seeing what happens. Turns out my ally planted some TNT and managed to contuze the crew. It is actually not crew confused, it is crew contused, which makes a lot more sense. A contusion being the sort of thing that you would expect when explosions go off in your tank. Confusion, somewhat understandable, but not quite of the tank crippling variety. But yeah, that's one thing you get quite a lot. You get contused crewmen in a tank with very heavy armor that's been attacked by a light explosive or something. In this case, the Panzer III or Panzer IV had a contused crew because the TNT went off, but it was driving away, so it escaped the main blast radius. That was a flamethrower. Brutal little things. I'm not sure why I bought this BA-11. I have some brilliant plan, maybe, for attacking. Oh, I'll send them the BA-11 and the tankette, the T-26 tankette, at the same time, and they won't know what hit them, is perhaps what I'm thinking. Right now I'm just hoping the Hetzer drives forward so I can shoot it from the side. I'm like, that'd be cool. Here, Hetzer, Hetzer, Hetzer. Who's a good Hetzer? Who's a good Hetzer? Who's you? Oh, and I'm sending some infantry to the other... I think this is at the point in the game where I decide I'm going to attack from all sides. But before I can attack from all sides, I need to take out the Hetzer. The Hetzer is worrying me. Because my whole attack on the middle is not going to go well if, incidentally, there's a tank. And my T-26 position here ends up catching some people who, I don't know, they're repositioning. They don't seem to be making an attack, but they're repositioning. And my T-26 catches them, and typically it looks like it killed everybody. And now that the T-26 has been spotted, I decide, damn the Hetzer, I'm going in anyway. Shah! So I send in the infantry. The infantry, of course, get immediately killed. I start sending the BA-11. Something knocks out the BA-11's engine, and now it's on fire, so it's going to die. So I tell the crew to get out. You see, I click on the crew. No point in letting your people burn to death. It might be hilarious, but it's not ethical. And as a member of PTI, which is People for the Ethical Treatment of Artificial Intelligence, I had to get them right out of there, right fast. And so that was a pretty failed offensive, but always one to make lemonade out of lemons. I drive my tank in to get shot. Is it going to get shot? Nope, I managed to back away from that AT grenade, and now the Stormtrooper is kibbles and bits, so we can feed him to the dogs that have been saved by PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. We can have a party, and we should not serve hamburgers. Mid has too many machine gunners. That's the story of this game. This guy's just... It's like D-Day all over again, only we're trying to take a castle and we're Russian. So it's really not a lot like D-Day. My ally suggesting artillery. What do I type? I bet I'm going to say I don't like artillery. He counter mortars. My mortar. Yeah, mortar's pretty much the heaviest artillery I enjoy buying. Assault infantry get shot. I am venting my frustration. Everything I try is not working. I have to sneak around.